All right, so we're going to talk about within reach, some technology that is available now and some things that may be coming in the near future. Real quick about our team with quality, our precision ag team. We're a staff of 8. We have 2 full-time staff in our call center, which handle remote issues and activation renewals and so forth. There are 5 of us field specialists that cover our 38 stores throughout the state. And our manager, Stephen Swain, has been with the company for over 20 years, so he's a fantastic resource for us and our customers. So what we'll cover today are planter pucks, and we'll discover what that is here in just a moment. Operations Center Web and Mobile, the Equipment Mobile app, Precision Ag Essentials program, which is more of the hardware like we have on the table out there in the hallway, as well as some drone discussion. So first of all, when we talk about planter technology, there's a blue million ways that you can spend money on a planter. And so we got to ask the reason why. Do we need a tax write-off? Okay. Do we want to do better growing our crops? And that should be why we're making the investment. We have here our planting window, uniform emergence, uniform spacing, correct population, and to a lesser degree soybeans and nutrient placement. But with each of these, we're seeing a bushel bump. From 4 up to 10, just depending on which technology that you're going to implement. And I'm not naive. It's interesting when companies put this out because if you use all their technology, you can make 50 bushels by not even putting the seed in the ground. So all this has to be taken with a grain of salt, but a lot of the technologies stack on each other to increase your productivity. So the pucks is a precision upgrade kit, and John Deere, as well as some other manufacturers, are placing a larger emphasis on retrofitting existing machines instead of buying new. And we'll see where that makes some sense here. But specifically with the planter upgrades, typically these are going to be available for model year 2009 and newer John Deere planters. So there's probably several 1790s represented in the room here and maybe some DBs. But those are prime candidates for doing precision upgrades. You'll retrofit your existing frame with all new technology. Obviously there are savings. If you're considering buying a $250,000 planter, or let's upgrade what we have for 90 to 130, starts making a lot more sense. And we have options to pick out technology in an a la carte style. So you're not pigeonholed into buying all the best or the most expensive. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to do there. There are options for the puck kits to have it dealer installed or the customer installed there on your farm. And it's also a great opportunity to take care of other issues on the frame like worn out bushings, hydraulics, so forth, tires, when you have all those row units off. And essentially that performance kit is from the toolbar back. So you're buying a whole new row unit. It comes with new openers and closing wheels. You can keep those, you can delete those from the quote, and so forth. So it's actually not too difficult of installation. So wanted to touch the MaxEmerge 5E meter. It's not exactly new. It's been out for several years, but it is available to retrofit. It's John Deere's entry level as far as the electric drive meter. It has a traditional plastic seed tube. It's up to 20% more accurate than traditional mechanical vacuum meters. With this one, we get turn compensation, and I think we all understand that that's going to be, consistent populations when we're in making turns. The electronic portion of it makes it easy to do runoffs, to verify our seed counts and populations before we actually go in the field. And it is designed to run in that traditional mechanical meter speed range from that kind of 4 to 6 mile per hour ground speed in the field. And these do require either a PTO generator or hydraulic generator to run those electric meters on the tractor. So you don't necessarily have to have a huge tractor to run hydraulics and so forth. We have some options there to work with some older machines. The ExactEmerge meter is the top of the line electric meter from Deere. Again, it's electric. There's a brush belt inside. You can kind of see the cutaway here. that delivers the seed from the bowl directly to the ground with astonishing accuracy. And we'll have a video here in just a second to see that. The big show and tell, I guess, with Exact Emerge is the ground speed. So you can run 8 to 10 mile an hour and still have that, I'm going to say, 98 plus seed singulation, which is pretty remarkable. Same thing with return compensation and power requirements for that row unit. So this is actual seed drop. It's a static drop to run at 10 miles per hour. So we've got the regular 5E up here, the Exact Emerge. I'm not exactly sure the plant or the seeding population of this one. Most of their testing they do on this is around 120,000 seeds on 30-inch rows. So it's fairly, to me, pretty impressive that it's dropping it out. I'll run it one more time here. Just dropping it out that accurately, running at 10 miles an hour. Now, we understand in this part of the world there are some fields that we can do 10. There's some that we struggle to do 3 with just the shape and the hilliness of what we have. But one of the other benefits of the Exact Emerge right here is our seed bowl. So it's set on an angle and designed to keep that pool of seed constantly engaged with the brush belt, regardless of our tilt or slope that we're at in the field. A lot of you guys that have the older XP row units, there are places you could get on a hill and that seed pool would fall to the other side and you'd start seeing problems with that. So that's designed to eliminate that issue. Real quick on some of the other technology, again, these are retrofittable to current planters, would be the individual row hydraulic downforce, which provides instantaneous response to ground conditions, consistent seeding depth, and it adjusts up to 58% faster than the active pneumatic system, which many of you are accustomed to. And one other option that we have here is a frame weight distribution, which can be a bolt-on retrofit, and it's turned on and off from your display in the cab, but you actually manually set your pressure on the machine itself. It's not really an active system. You just kind of find a happy medium and let it roll. So this is Furrow Vision is a new technology that's just outside of our reach right now. John Deere announced this last year, and I've been privileged to be in some conversations with Deere about the technology and kind of what they're figuring out what to do with it. But in essence, we have a camera. Like Chris said, there's just going to be more and more cameras. So we have a camera here and a laser module, and it's going to be measuring our trench depth as well as taking a picture in near real time of our seed drop inside that trench. So the way that the system is configured currently, there's 3 cameras across the entire planter. And we put in our target depth. And again, I want to stress, you're still setting your depth on your row unit mechanically, but the laser is measuring the side of the trench to the bottom, and that's where we're getting our measurement of our depth there. So it may be difficult to see back there, but we have a poor furrow, a good furrow, and too much sidewall. It's a little, maybe a little sticky there. But we'll be able to map our seeding depth through our display and operations center. So there's some exciting things there, and just to make it easier to do a better job in real time while you're in the field planting. So getting away from the planter part and more to the data management, I do want to mention Operations Center. Show of hands or nod of heads, everybody awake? How many out here have an Operations Center? Okay. Who can remember their password to the Operations Center? Yeah. Nobody? I can help you with that if you need help. But essentially, Operations Center, it's a free utility from Deere. It's been around for about 10 years. I started using it in 2013 when it was brand new, and I worked for a large grower in the county. And it has just grown and increased and got a lot better over time. So it's an avenue where we can view and monitor our machines, as well as work maps and report totals. And something that folks used to be very critical of Deere, and I was one of them, is that Deere did not play well with other brands and other apps and so forth. But they have now kind of had a shift in that mentality. And so Operations Center will actually process data from over 30 competitive displays with some of the big names here. Not all, not going back forever, but some of the later model displays from Raven and Trimble and so forth. You can log in with myjohndeere.com or create an account there. Like I said, it's free. So even if you're not a Deere customer, you run a mixed fleet, there's some benefit here for you guys. So we're going to take a little bit closer look into some of the features within Ops Center, and this is the web version, obviously. The Analyze tab is what I call or term the paper report, where you can generate reports of the acres covered, gallons of particular chemical used. There's almost an indefinite way to filter this information and produce it. Then you can spit it out as a PDF or an Excel file, or actually share that work data with another operations center or your agronomist. The Field Analyzer feature within Ops Center is a way to compare, actually go back in time. If you drop down these menus, you can go back and see the history that was of all operations that were done on that field. This one right here was testing done down in the Delta region with Deere. These were cotton pickers, but they were comparing the productivity and fuel use of the new CP770 versus the 690s. And so we can compare maps with the machine serial numbers versus what they harvested. We can also use overlay, which is very helpful if you want to put down your planting map with a downforce map or your varieties, and then overlay yield, to see what different practices have the effect on yield. So there's a lot of usability in there. I am hoping, we do expect that more AI, artificial intelligence, will be integrated to help farmers make more decisions instead of just having messy maps on top of each other, to actually extrapolate some information from that. Moving over to the Setup tab, we can, again, make setup files with our client farms, fields, equipment, products, varieties that we want to get ready, and having that display ready to go. One of the nice features, especially on the chemical side, is the database that's built into Operations Center, where you just keyword search the product that you want to put in and pull it up, and it has the EPA reg number already with it. So that really helps with your record keeping and keeping all that in one place. And on our Map tab, which is the home page in Ops Center, it defaults to fields, where you can view your field boundaries. And one of the newer features of Ops Center that just came out was rainfall. You can choose rainfall since midnight or over the past 24 hours. You do have to have boundaries drawn around your fields, and you can do that within Ops Center with your mouse. Just point and click and make boundaries, or you can use driven boundaries or as-applied boundaries in Ops Center. So that's a handy tool to get addicted to there. That feature will be coming to the mobile version very soon as well. On our map page with equipment, if we have connected machines with JD-Link modem in them, we'll be able to view those on the map and see their history, their travel, location, engine hours, fuel and depth levels, diagnostic trouble codes, work versus idle metrics. And one of the major benefits of having a connected machine is RDA, which is remote display access. So if you get in the machine and you have a problem, you get stuck, you don't know where to navigate in the display, or you have maybe a more senior member of your team in there or a new member, and you need to look in and help them, you can do that. Or me as your dealer support, I can look in and help you with that with your permission. So that saves a lot of downtime in the field when folks get stuck or need help setting up a planter as far as the technology side. So the mobile version, again, it's basically a mirror of what you have in the web. It's a free download from your app store. Find it useful for scouting, to go out and mark flags at different points in the field with your phone. It's also a great tool to give the new employees and agronomists to click and generate directions to the field that they need to go to. One of the unique features within the mobile is historical weather for a given task. So when you go to a field, and let's say you sprayed, whatever nitrogen last week, you pull it up, it's going to pull weather from the nearest weather data station for the temperature, humidity, and wind speed during that field activity. So that could get you in trouble or get you out of trouble, depending on how you need to use it. I want to spend a little time also talking about the Equipment mobile app. This is a very handy tool, especially here as we're getting ready for planting season, for corn and some of those early beans. Again, this is a free app from Deere. You can use it as a standalone, or you can use your John Deere login and sync your machines from Operations Center to it. It's got quick links to your operator's manual, parts manual, tools, info, and setup guides for different machine platforms, and a new feature that was released, I believe, last month is the ability to push software updates remotely to your JD-Link connected machines. So you as the customer can pull up that homepage, pull up that machine, and it'll tell you if there are software updates or what we call payloads available for that machine. And we're not just talking display, we're talking engine, transmission, cab controller, those sort of things. So that's a great thing to check before, pre-season, just make sure all your softwares are up to date. It can save you a call or a trip from your dealer to do that sort of thing. And want to touch real quick on the resources within Equipment mobile app, just to show really a lot of the usability, especially as it applies to planters. So I recorded this yesterday, just on my phone, opened it up, put in a 1795. When you add a new model, it walks you through a wizard, if you will, to select which kind of meter you have and downforce options and so forth, so it's tailored to that specific machine. There we go, okay. So I'm gonna hit checklists. In this instance, I hit inside the cab, and so it's going to give me a checklist of things to check off. You just go page by page, you're done. I'm going to go outside the cab. It gives me a list of things to check outside on the planter itself. Going back, I'm going to go over to change crop. We get questions about that fairly often, so you're going to pick your row spacing. It's going to tell you what to do on the outside of the machine as far as switching the meter over, any frame adjustments, dropping your lockup rows, removing your plugs from the vacuum, and then it walks on to the actual settings to change in the display. And this will change based on what SeedStar software that you told it that you're playing or using. So we're going to choose. This is really helpful here to select your crop. It's going to tell you which seed disc to use, and there are about 3 different ones that you can use for soybeans, but it's going to tell you which brushes to put in the meter, where to put your double eliminator. I remember the first time I was very green, new on a farm. They planted corn, and I got this down pat. Let's switch to beans, and we did. And I started planting, and I had a solid dribble of beans behind me in the trench. Like, what's wrong? What happened? Well, I had forgot to put the right brush in to do soybeans. So that was a learning lesson. If I'd had a tool like that at the time, maybe that would have prevented some of that oops. So there are other machine platforms supported in Equipment Mobile, such as combines. You have your crop settings, changeovers, instructions on how to do a powered shutdown. There's a grain loss calculator within the app for combines. And again, this is not just a green solution. You can use this with any brand of combine. Put in your header width, your crop, how you're spreading it, header width, yield, count the seeds in your square, and hit calculate loss, and it'll tell you your percent loss and your bushels per acre loss. On the sprayer side, there's tools in here to do a nozzle selector where you put in your parameters. It'll give you a list with part numbers, which nozzles are recommended for your speed and GPA. There's also a tank mix calculator that lets you work backwards into the volume of chemical to put in a tank for a given prescription. So all useful tools, again, not necessarily just for John Deere. We're going to touch real quick on the displays. So out in the hallway, we've got a G5 Plus. The new series is referred to as G5. So the small one's about a 10-inch. The G5 Plus is about a 13-inch. You can purchase these with permanent activations. The small one starts around $6,500. They're brighter, faster, more that you can imagine. So some of the more advanced features like auto track turn automation, implement guidance, that is a license now that can be purchased for $750 a year. So it's a good way for, if you're thinking about using AutoPath, for instance, or turn automation, kind of a low cost of entry to try those technologies right there on your display. These displays are backward compatible to some of the older series machines, 50 series combines, 20 series tractors and sprayers. Receivers, we've got a 7,000 out there. Again, the 7,500 will be coming out here in a month or two. It's just a chip change inside. The big story with the new 7,000 is that it is available with SF RTK. And so that is a 100% satellite RTK solution. So I don't think we've got a whole lot of RTK towers here in Union County, or we don't have, not that I'm aware of, but not many people using RTK. But the satellite RTK eliminates the need for towers and repeaters and radios and those sort of things. 1-inch repeatable accuracy guaranteed over 5 years. And the display, or excuse me, the receiver itself is a new design. It's rugged, it's shorter, it has field replaceable parts. So we anticipate these having a very long lifespan. The JD Link modems, M modem, again, this is kind of the cornerstone of gathering and transmitting your data into Operations Center, which from there you can use it, manipulate it, or share it with other third parties, as well as tracking your machines and so forth. The M modem is very simple. It's built with an internal antenna. It comes with its own universal harness. It just needs power, switch power, and ground. And so we see great opportunity in this to retrofit older tractors from, like 8430s and older. I've got a customer who bought a dozen to go in his pickup trucks and grain semis, so he can keep an eye on everything across his operation. The R modem is a drop-in. Again, that's the one we have on the table out there for most of your R series and S series combines that already have a modem in them that may be a 2G or 3G that's obsolete. The R is just a drop-in, and we can kind of utilize the infrastructure that's already in the machine with that. Typically, you're looking at around 500 to 1,000 per machine, parts and labor to put the modem in, so it's very affordable in our eyes. The Essentials program is a new program Deere just came out with recently to get the newer technology into the hands of more people, more growers. So all this stuff is nice. Obviously, all this technology in the planter is expensive, and new technology requires newer displays. This package bundles the G5 Plus, a modem, and the receiver for $4,000. And that includes 1 year of auto track and section control activation. The trade-off with that is that you're paying $2,000 a year after that to keep those activations alive. So you can choose to do that, or you could just use it as a monitor or put the thing on the shelf. So we see it as an easy way maybe for smaller growers to get the technology and use some of these higher things. You can also upgrade your activation to get the higher technologies as well. Again, that's on an annual basis. Okay, we recently became a dealer for DJI drones, and there's some interesting conversations just sitting in the back, talking about cover crops and biomass mapping. And I had previously kind of been on the fence about drones and their usefulness in row crop applications. Obviously they can spray, but we do see applications now with spreading cover crops, in standing grain, pre-harvest. As well as the mapping. I think I left a page out here, that's fine. And just talking, we had some training last week and talking with some people in the industry. There's applications for timber and cutover and spraying cleaning solutions on greenhouses and so forth. So there are a lot of applications in ag and in industries that touch ag for the drones. So just stay tuned with that. We're excited to be in on this. Take my number there. I cover this area, so look forward to helping you guys out very much. Appreciate it.